Hello, my fellow lifeforms, and welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful fall season so far. Halloween is right around the corner, and there is something special and significant as to why we celebrate Halloween every year. And I'm here with Randall Carlson, promoting his upcoming live stream this coming 30th on why Halloween is so special and unique. And so, Randall, what is your upcoming live stream going to be about?
Well, Rivas, what we're going to dive into here is the deep history of this particular tradition of Halloween. And we're going to discover that it's far more ancient and far more universal than most secular interpretations of the tradition have recognized. I have drawn upon the work of anthropologist, lawyer, scholar, and author Robert Grant Halliburton, who wrote a paper back in the 19th century where he first discovered that there was this universality to the tradition with striking details and parallels, regardless of where the culture was around the world or throughout history. So he was visiting London in 1859, and he was going to prepare a paper for the Society of the Antiquaries of London, and he decided to do a paper on All Souls Day and All Saints Day. And so when he went into the history of the tradition as far as England goes, which goes back to the Celtic tradition of Samhain, which is typically celebrated in early November, he found out that there were coincidences in the observance of this festival by different nations, and that these observances or these coincidences were much more striking than he had ever assumed. And so I will quote from his paper here. He says that a new and most startling fact was discovered when I came to read over the paper I had prepared. It was singular that the Festival of the Dead amongst the ancient Peruvians was celebrated on the same day as by the Spaniards. That is, All Souls Day, November 2nd. I had also considered this merely as a curious coincidence. But upon reading over his investigations and reviewing his investigations, he discovered, quote, that the festival was generally observed in November, south as well as north of the equator. A fact so remarkable that it was evident that whatever could be the cause, it must be something hitherto unknown. And so we're going to dive into what this unknown may have been. So when he presented this paper in 1859, he was so impressed by these coincidental connections, interconnections around the world as to the nature of this observance, that, and I quote here again, from 1859 until the present year, which he was writing in 1868, so that's 9 years, all the leisure that could be spared from public and private engagements had been devoted to this inquiry. His conclusion: it was evident that the uniformity could not have been caused or preserved by any calendar now known to us, and that the festival must originally have been regulated by some visible sign or mark that nature had supplied to our ancestors and the Peruvians.
That's just spooky.
So we are going to get in, yes, and the belief amongst all of these nations, all of these traditions and cultures, was that it was at this particular time of year that the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became porous and allowed intercourse amongst the entities of each side. And during this time that the cosmic windows, if you will, were open, the ghosts of the dead, the departed, the ancestors, entities of the other side could come into this world for that one evening, the eve of All Souls and All Saints Day. I will also mention that All Souls and All Saints Day are merely a Christianized version of the much more ancient tradition that typically lasted 3 days. And so we're going to explore this in great detail. Now, some of this information I have put out there in piecemeal in various forms. So what I'm going to attempt to do under this presentation is to put it all together under one umbrella, updated with some new information that has come to light in recent years, and then also show how the revelation and understanding of what's behind this tradition dovetails with other streams of knowledge and information, paradigm changing information that is also coming to light at this same time.
That sounds great. That sounds so exciting. I've watched some of the older content you've put out. You know, it's been a while, but it's really awesome stuff. It's perspective changing. In all honesty, it makes you really appreciate this time of the year that much more, and the significance behind it. So if you're interested in checking out this upcoming live stream, head over to howtube.com/Randall Carlson. Is that right?
Yes, Randall Carlson. And there's another video over there that you can watch.
Right.
A little bit more extended information. So yeah, but yeah, please join us on October 30th. And we're trying to keep the tickets affordable.
Right.
Cost of a movie ticket, and it will be perpetually downloadable.
Right.
And you'll be able to, if you can't make it on the 30th, it'll still be there for download.
And you can always go back and watch it whenever you want.
Yes,
and it'll be about 3 hours long, roughly, give or take.
2 to 2.5 hours for the lecture, and then we're going to open the floor to some questions and answers.
That's well worth it in my book. So we hope to see you guys there, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Thank you, Rivas.
Thank you, Randall.